Welcome back everybody. Now I know we didn't talk about last week's chapter and everyone was like, bruh, where's the review? We need that balls deep content. We need the Tabata memes. Come on, I need my drunk edition. I'm sorry. Well, I heard you fam. I've come to deliver. Today we're doing 2 chapters. So grab your Magic Knight robes, open your grimoire and get ready because we're going balls deep into chapters 226 and 227. And I'm going to explain all the juicy details that you might have missed and a theory of mine, you know, because you know that balls deep prediction magic just be so powerful with what's going to happen in the upcoming chapters. Let's cue the intro.
You don't fuck with neck, bro.
So chapter 226 was more action-packed and less juicy. There weren't all that many, you know, oh my god moments, but it was entertaining nonetheless. And it paved the way for the real good stuff that we got in this week's chapter 227. We got a nice look at Gargia's magic and we got a nice little explanation of the magic tiers and what magic is stronger than others. And I'm sure Tabata heard about the tier list all of us YouTubers were doing and he probably thought, how can I keep things hip and cool? Oh yeah, I can do my own tier list in my own anime. So we know that Gargia's magic is lightning magic and we can assume he's pretty high tier as well, most likely tier 1 or tier 0. Basically the weakest magic is level 9 and the strongest is level 0. Asta isn't even on the tier scale because he has no magic, but he also kind of an exception to this as he's the exception to all magic and its effects. Now importantly, Nero mentions ability alone isn't a true measure of our power, which basically insinuates the idea that fights are not only determined by the level of magic you're using but also the skill of the person. I hope that's what Tabata means because then genetics will play too much importance on determining the winner of a fight. I also love how Tabata is portraying the message that Asta is not special yet again because that's what makes him so unique in this universe. It's adding to the built-up story where the Witch Queen first said that what makes Asta special is that he has no special traits at all. He's the antithesis to the entire series. So we can assume that Yuno, Yami and all the others that directly helped against the word magic devil, they are at least tier 1 because the water spirit mentions in the chapters that you have to be at least this level to stand a chance against a devil. Noelle is tier 1 as we learned in the chapter as Gargia explained, and she is playing a major role in this arc. She's basically becoming one of the greatest shonen females written as she actually does something for the plot to progress it and is utterly important in the fight. Now since we learned that you have to be at least tier 1 or 0 to kill a demon, Asta definitely did so in the previous arc. So Asta is technically at least tier 1 automatically, even though he's not even really on the scale itself. I feel that this magic tier list is a great way to level out the power scaling, and it's actually pretty similar to some actual tier lists I've seen people make, but I think this is going to put a limit on how strong someone can be in Black Clover. Power escalation had always been an issue for a little while in the manga, as characters became super powerful seemingly all of a sudden, just to be stomped by other characters also seemingly out of nowhere. I mean, when a character like Noelle has to straight up say, oh yeah, when you're in a dire situation, a new powerful magic spell is unlocked for you to use. Practically to break your limits, it becomes a bit of a trope and hard to accept every time it happens to the readers. For example, Asta and Yuno weren't that strong at the beginning of the series, but by episode 100, they can practically one-shot super powered elves that were seen as gods by humans in the previous generations. Humans literally used to worship elves. It was mentioned to us in chapter 101. But here we are, these dudes are destroying them. But then after that, Licht shows up and is instantly too much for them to handle, and things just go up and up and up from there if the series kept going on. Kinda like the problem that Dragon Ball Z had, right? So this is exactly why Tabata had to establish a power scaling system, and because he's a genius and my friend of course, and I love the guy, and he phoned me up the other day and he said, oh my god, and my balls deep, how did you predict the freaking chapters? I thought we were friends, I told you not to tell anyone. This magic level system of the Heart Kingdom also begs the question whether there's a big distance between tier 1 and tier 0, because Noelle's magic is tier 1, and Julius Novachrono, before he got stabbed and turned into a kid, he would have stomped his way into Noelle and destroy her currently the way she is. The gap between the two is just massive, and tier 1 isn't that hard to achieve since most of Black Balls will be at this level eventually. I mean, have you met Vanessa or Yami? It also makes me wonder even more about what the rules of these tier lists are, because Path 3 was nowhere near as strong as Julius, yet he was also stronger than Noelle is currently. So are there different levels of each tier? No wonder my friend Tabata had to mention the level of a spell doesn't determine how strong someone is, I guess, because this is getting quite confusing. To put it into perspective, Julius at his peak and the Heart Queen are clearly tier 0 godlike beings because their magic was across a whole kingdom. No other magic knight compares to them. It has already been established in this arc in chapter 224 when Mimosa says that the Queen of the Heart Kingdom could destroy every single magic knight currently on her own if they faced her. This puts it into perspective of how huge the gap is between level 0 and 1 in the power scaling. So if Asta or Yuno want to become the Wizard King in the future, they need to reach tier 0. Julius only gained the position and had respect from royals because he was so strong and earned his rank by winning all the time and showing results. Julius said this himself to Asta early on in the anime and manga, if you guys can remember. Therefore, Asta needs to get to tier 0 and change the discrimination system in this way. Anyway, beyond all that, we also saw Garja use a unique spell this chapter. Obviously, like we said, it's a lightning spell, but there was weird markings all around it, almost like the symbols that pop up when Zoro uses his trap magic. After some Google searches here and there, we think these runes were inspired by Viking symbols. This doesn't necessarily mean that Garja is a Viking, I mean he doesn't look like one, but his magic may hold some resemblance. This isn't all that surprising considering that he himself implied that he isn't human when he says humans cannot match the vast manner of nature. Maybe he is able to wield different kinds of magic, as it is implied in chapter 216 that he may also be level 0 tier magic, as the water spirit explains the system to Asta in their fight, and the manga then pans towards him where he casts Kirin. I mean lightning magic. So I think there is a possibility that Garja is a lightning spirit, one of the 4 great spirits to be exact, along with the wind spirit, Salamander the fire spirit, and Udine the water spirit that the queen uses. Those are the 4 elements in Black Clover, so now we may know who are all the spirits. He might have already discovered it before it actually happens, otherwise why would this dude imply that he is not human and he has this godlike speed as Noelle describes? He just whooshes into and detected where they were. That sounds like some spirit shit. Now let's start talking about chapter 227, because as you all know by now, Steve, prediction magic is just way too powerful. It's clearly tier 0 magic because everything we predicted 2 weeks ago has come true word for word yet again. I mean, what can I say at this point except thank you to all of you that support the channel, and please smash that like button and notification bell because we do this on a weekly basis and we need to continue this community. Anyway, remember Megicula the devil, the demon who is the big bad guy that has cursed anyone that speaks about him, and if you do speak about him, it will cause you to die. At some point, Noelle's mother received a curse from the devil Megicula and eventually died. To keep the family safe from the continuing effects of the curse, Acier's death was blamed on Noelle's birth. Noelle learnt the truth after the elf arc from her brother Nozel. Noelle went on a mission with Asta to prove that the devils exist to the royalty, as it will stop him from getting the death sentence, but at the same time it will solve the case of Noelle's mother. Brilliant writing, right? Now we can ship these two even more. Now, as Asta was fighting the water spirit, fans were confused. Why did the queen keep saying they wanted the anti-magic devil power for themselves? And how did the Heart Kingdom already have this knowledge? Good news guys, everything has been cleared up now. We now know that the queen of the Heart Kingdom made contracts with the water priestess spirit for over 1200 years, and this grants them the ability to be omniscient to the whole country and gain power equivalent to level 0 magic. The queen uses all the natural mana from the trees, water and land to help with her magic spells, as we can can see her watering the plants and can see all of the nature revealed in chapter 227. The queen also has inherited power from every other queen before her, and this cycle seems to repeat itself every time. This is why she is so utterly broken in comparison to the characters we have seen so far. The queen states that she wanted Asta's anti-magic power so that he can help in her quest to get rid of the curse which she has involving the devil Megicula. The queen is going to die within a year. This is why the spirit and queen granted access for Asta's squad to enter the kingdom in the first place, as Garja already explained that the queen is the one who grants permission to who leaves and enters the country. Garja also seems to be instructed to test the squad abilities on their magic strength, and he actually isn't an evil person trying to kill them. The queen wanted to know how their magic works, how powerful they actually are in their tier system. The queen also had knowledge of what devils are because of the water spirit and what Megicula has done to her specifically. Now, we don't know how she was spying on Asta because I think the queen's powers only works in her own kingdom, but I think there is something pretty interesting what the water spirit says in response to Asta, revealing in chapter 227 that he came to their kingdom on a trail of a powerful curse belonging to a devil. The water spirit responds by saying only the spirit director should know about that. How did he get this information? The spirits have already been confirmed to be around for more than 1,000 years, and this is why they know what devils are. We also know that dwarves, elves and humans lived in harmony around 1,000 years ago too. Tabata has already established it pretty well in the Clover Kingdom that the ignorance of devils has occurred over 500 years, because even the first Wizard King didn't even know what the word magic devil was unless he read a book. This is why the spirits have the devil knowledge, and that's why it all makes sense. Also, with this sentence, it also reveals their ignorance on how Asta killed Demon, because why would she say how did they get this information? But then again, later on she says they know they have something in common due to wanting to defeat Megicula, so this means the water spirit knows more information on Noelle's mother and will probably reveal something in future chapters. The difference between Asta's devil and the queen is that we know Asta is not cursed. The theory that Asta lost all his mana due to being cursed is debunked, because Gordon's father already checked this and confirmed that there is nothing wrong with him with his hex magic, and their family specializes in curses. The witch queen also said something similar about Asta, so maybe Tabata has some next secret explanation about why Asta has no mana, because we know 100% for a fact that Asta was somewhat destined in a way for the anti-magic demon to use him. There is no other person in the Clover Kingdom that could use the anti-magic powers as it would kill them. So for now, we have to believe the anti-magic demon manipulated the situation for his benefit, as he is seeking a body himself, which he stated himself. He wants a body to come into this dimension. Moving on, we finally get to see the queen all dolled up, and she's quite beautiful, I must say. She's pretty good looking, to the point where our boy Asta actually blushes for her. I mean, Asta never blushes for anyone, so Noelle and Mimosa are gonna be like,
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Finally, at the end of the chapter, there is a major reveal, and I'm hella excited because this is what I was wondering the whole time. If the 5th leaf represents the devil and creates a 5-leaf black clover, what if a devil was in another kingdom's grimoire? Would that be a black heart grimoire or a black spade grimoire, right? Well, this is confirmed. The water spirit says that the one who has cursed the queen called Megicula resides within that land. The manga then pans to the Diamond Kingdom where the other black bulls are scouting the country. This means it is heavily insinuated that Megicula is inside this man or using his body per se, because we know that's what the anti-magic demon would want to do with Asta, so maybe Megicula has taken over this dude's body. This new enemy looks badass as hell, and he has killed 20 magic knights that Magna confirms, some of which are captain level, which is insane. This means at a minimum this man must be level 0 in the magic level system himself. Tabata has clearly showcased how broken he is, because if luck does not want to fight him, there is definitely a problem. We see that he has a Spade Kingdom cloak, which Julius Novacrona confirmed that the Spade Kingdom is a nation of demons, as the country serves an ancient evil that sleeps in its land. Julius also said that the countries will be invaded, which is heavily linked to Asta dying. This man here has invaded the Diamond Kingdom, so either he is Megicula using his powers like Asta uses the anti-magic demon. I personally think this man does have devil powers, because the manga heavily insinuates the idea. We can see the same devil mana or magic magic coming out of his body, just like Asta when he uses devil powers. He also has a spade on his back which is completely black, just like how the 5-leaf clover became completely dark when the word magic devil converted patries into one. My friend Tabata is gonna use this enemy to tell us even more details about the devil dimension and what exactly is the anti-magic demon within Asta, and we have countless theories on the channel by now regarding this, so catch up on the material guys, hit that notification button, join us on a weekly basis, join the community, and that's everything I wanted to say about these chapters. Let me know your opinion on Twitter or Instagram, and also comment below so I can heart it. I'll see you guys next time.